Welcome to the demonstration of Proximity, the production execution application available on SAP ECC 6.0. What Proximity provides you is the ability to execute production orders in SAP using electronic work instructions. You can do so in a Paperless environment, which means you can use our one-page shop floor traveler that will follow with your work on the floor. Utilize that to enter into SAP and execute your production. You can do this without third-party MES interfaces. That means it's fully integrated with your production planning configuration, master data, and transactional data. It also is integrated with other modules, such as sales and distribution, MM for your materials management, your IM and WM for your TRs and TOs, for example, as well as quality management for results recording of inspection characteristics. There's also information from your batch management system, your engineering change management, to name a few others. So at this point, let us go into the transaction code, the first transaction code being the SAP Production Supervisor. It's a dedicated transaction code in which the supervisor can go in and perform multiple functions. You notice we have three views. We have order management, in which the supervisor can go in, create notes, and dispatch orders with priorities. The other view is confirmation management, in which the supervisor can maintain confirmations. One of the neat features there is that if there's an existing confirmation, the supervisor can go into a change mode, which highlights the fields that were already entered by an employee, for example. Maintain only that data element that they may want to change, such as a quantity or hours, and then execute that. And what I'll do in the background is do the cancellation and recreation of a new confirmation. We also have employee management. There's where the supervisor can select their employees, look at clock-ins, clock-outs, perform clock-in and clock-outs, as well as enter in timesheet, as well as approvals for timesheets. So let's go ahead and go into the order management. I'm going to go ahead in the order header and put in the plant for 0001. I could put in all these other selections to limit the amount of orders that I get. Additionally, I can put in order dates. So I've got basic dates, scheduled dates, as well as relative dates if I scroll down to the bottom. This is very similar to what you'll find in other transaction codes within SAP, such as the order information system. So I'm going to close that up and I'm going to go ahead and execute. Let's see what orders we get. So now this is only going to select orders that are released or what's called pre-released. So any that are in a created status aren't yet available, nor are those that are TechCode or closed. So what you can see here is this is an ALV list display. So as a supervisor, I have some capability to resize my screens. But for the most part, we provide a configuration table that puts the order as well as the sequence of these columns. We can also rename them if needed. You can hide some, you can make some as display only. What we have here is we have priority and sequence left open. Typically you'll pick one or the other. If I wanted to change a priority, say this one from a priority 3 to a priority 1, I would just indicate it in the field, select the order, click the dispatch orders. Now I could do this with multiple orders at the same time. Then you'll get that the dispatch results were updated successfully. Additionally, I have notes. Ones with an X indicate that there's already a note. You could just double click and see what the note is. And you can see here, does this work now? And yes, it does. If I want to create a note, I would certainly select the line and click on Create Notes. You can also go into confirmation of an order, so the supervisor can create confirmations directly from here, as well as the previous screen in which we saw the view for confirmation management. Also afforded, if you want to, you can have them reprint travelers. There's also a print preview function. Using the standard CO02 is a little difficult for most people to navigate, and supervisors typically don't get that transaction. So we've provided that function here. Now, of course, you can turn on or off all of these buttons if you want to have a supervisor do that or not. Confirmation management is really just a very easy to use tool to either create or cancel confirmations as well as change. Now, there's not a standard change confirmation within SAP, so we've provided the ability for the supervisor to basically edit a confirmation and when they execute, it'll cancel that confirmation and recreate a new one. There's also employee management. From here, I can select my employees, look at clock in and clock outs, or perform those clock in or clock outs. I can also do timesheet entries and time approvals. Now, we've provided links to the standard SAP transactions, but if you have a third-party online time and attendance system, we can provide the URLs there as well. That's completely configurable. So now let's move on to production execution. This is basically a work center queue for the employees to work from. They can select their work center, which is the most typical way a shop floor employee would select. I'm going to leave it with production plant and just let this run wide open. As you can see, I have all of my information for the orders. Again, all of these columns are configurable. So if you're not using serial numbers or you don't have sequence numbers, you can hide those fields and they don't even see them. If you're not using projects or sales orders, you can also hide those as well. You can scroll over here and get more information. Now, not all the fields are shown that are available. There are about 50 fields that you can add in here. So if I were the employee and I wanted to go ahead and start an order, I would select one, click on process order, and so I'll get this screen where I get the order header information. Again, these columns are configurable. I can turn those off if desired. You may not want to show certain things such as the sales orders to employees, or maybe WBS elements that really just aren't that important. I can hide that screen and just see the details of the operation. My long text would show right here if there was long text for that given operation, this one being operation 10. You notice I can do a confirmation of the order. If I had components, they would be listed. If I had PRTs, they would also be listed. But you notice if something is not listed for a given section, it's minimized. Here you can see I have inspection characteristics for which I can perform results recording. I would select, click on results recording, and it'll take me to a results recording screen. Finally, if I have variant configuration information, I could click that here and I can see the details of those characteristics. Again, going back up to PRTs, I could launch the URL if that particular PRT had a URL attachment. Once I was done and did a confirmation as a shop floor employee, I would come back to this screen and look for additional work. Now, of course, if I worked to work center employees and priorities, I would click on that and do sorts. I could sort up or I could sort down. So there's many different ways you can do that. Or set a filter. Say I only want priority 1, 2, and 3. Now what this provides you is a one transaction, easy to use for shop floor employees to go ahead and perform production execution directly within SAP ECC 6.0. Now, as I indicated, there are other additional transactions that we've afforded. We've only shown these two for a quick demo. If you have any questions, please give us a call or email us at javelinsolutions.com. Thank you.